Welcome back, 24 Theory fans. Today we plunge into the twisted depths of the Saw universe with Saw Flesh and Blood. Stick around, because 24 Theory is about to uncover every gory detail of Saw Flesh and Blood. Ready to face your fears? Let's dive in. The game revolves around Campbell Iman, a drug addict and terminal cancer patient abducted by Jigsaw Killer. Shortly afterward, Campbell wakes up in an abandoned railway building with a death mask locked onto his body. He has to cut beneath his right eye to retrieve a key to stop the deadly mechanism. After his escape, Campbell has to go through numerous deadly traps to discover the truth about his estranged son. However, before Campbell finds him, he has to face another test. Upon finding himself in a giant hall, he must either fight for his life or sacrifice himself for a stranger's life. Following the first section of the game, the players take over the role of Michael Tapp, the son of David Tapp, who committed suicide in his apartment after the events of the first video game. He comes across the chief of police, Henry Jacobs, and a vice detective, Joseph Polzer, who investigate the scene. However, as Michael leaves the building to have a smoke, he is abducted by a pig-masked man who injects him with an anesthetic and takes him to the abandoned Holmes Hotel, where he has to play one of Jigsaw's games to find out the truth about his father's death. Thereby, he has to save numerous other victims trapped along his way. Unfortunately, most of them are criminals whom Detective Tapp previously arrested. While proceeding through the hotel, Michael finds Henry Jacobs in a trap and learns he is a drug trafficker. Upon being saved by Michael, Henry pretends to be grateful, but later meets up with his accomplice, Joseph Polzer, and orders him to kill Michael to ensure their corruption is kept secret. As he continues his way, Michael comes across Sarah Blaylock, who is, in fact, his father's neighbor and a drug addict. She is trapped inside a glass tank, which quickly fills with water. Michael saves her from drowning, but is abandoned by her as she blames him for ruining his father's life. Michael follows her and escapes the hotel, only to find himself inside an abandoned chemical plant. The next victim Michael has to save is Joseph Polzer. Despite Michael's knowledge that Joseph had planned to kill him, he saves him from a trap, but is also abandoned by him. Afterward, Michael proceeds through the chemical plant and soon finds out about another victim. Carla Song, a doctor who stole pharmaceuticals from her clinic to sell them on the street, is strapped to an elevator, which would tear her in half if Michael did not save her in time. Eventually, he accomplishes this task and goes on, thereby finding the last victim of his test. Solomon Bates, a criminal accountant Michael had already encountered at the beginning of his test, is trapped in a furnace room. Upon his salvation, Michael confronts him with his crimes. Solomon ultimately admits to being a drug cartel member alongside Henry Jacobs, Joseph Polzer, Sarah Blaylock, and Carla Song. While investigating the Jigsaw case, Michael's father found out about the cartel, but was more interested in pursuing the killer than arresting the corrupt cops. Michael admits that he had stolen his father's files about Jigsaw and published them in a newspaper article to push his career and get revenge on his father for being abandoned by him as a child. This article also gave Henry Jacobs a legitimate reason to discharge Michael's father from the Metropolitan Police Department and prevent him from discovering the drug ring. While Michael proceeds through the building, he witnesses the deaths of Carla and Sarah, who were killed by Henry and Polzer to tie up loose ends. Henry, however, is later killed by Jigsaw's accomplice, Pighead. During a final encounter between Joseph and Michael, the latter fatally shoots his adversary with his gun. After defeating him, Michael goes on to the last part of his game and finds himself in the same room as Campbell Iman. Depending on the player's choice, there are two possible outcomes. Path of Blood. If the player saves Campbell, he survives the final test, while Michael is crushed to death by the surrounding walls, which close in on him. Jigsaw confronts Campbell and says he is now free to find his son. Campbell, however, attacks Jigsaw, stating that his son can never live safely in a world with people like him. Jigsaw evades his attack, causing Campbell to be killed by a swinging scythe. Afterward, Jigsaw ends his game with "Game over." Path of Flesh. If the player sacrifices Campbell, Michael survives the final test and is taken to another room. A videotape left for him claims that he and Jigsaw are similar as they both desire to bring justice to a world of criminals. Michael then faces two doors. One leads Michael to freedom and gives him a chance to use the evidence found by his father to print the story of Jigsaw and the drug cartel, but he is told people will forget sooner or later. The other door reveals a pig head costume and offers Michael the chance to learn Jigsaw's method to help others. However, Michael's choice is not disclosed to the player. And that's a wrap on our dive into the horrifying world of Saw Flesh and Blood. I hope you enjoyed this journey through Jigsaw's twisted mind. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to 24 Theory for more deep dives into the darkest corners of gaming. Make sure to ring that bell icon so you never miss an update. Let us know in the comments what horror game you'd like us to tackle next. Thanks for watching, and remember, stay curious, stay cautious, and keep exploring the unknown with 24 Theory.